What's up, everyone? Welcome to Unmasked, where things are discovered, uncovered, brought to the light, and made known. I'm your host, Lamar Brad, coming live to you from PG County, Maryland. If you're interested in finding out about the untold stories behind being a college coach, this is the show for you. Being a former assistant men's college basketball coach for 16 years, there are so many untold stories behind the scenes in the life of a college basketball coach. Now, let's unmask them. Today's guest is a bright assistant coach with a tremendous work ethic, one of the top opponent scouts in the country. Like, if you ever had a chance to coach against him, you know he's gonna know everything you run, name, call, all the information. Like, he is as thorough as you're gonna get in this business. He's a great teacher. He has the ability to relate with the student athletes as well as all the people on campus. So he does a tremendous job with that as well. And he's a young man. I say he's a young man. I said he's a little younger than me, but and I see as a head coach in this business. And then he's a native of Springfield, New Jersey, Matt Grady. Now I'm gonna say a little bit about Matt before we bring him on. He's a St. Joe's University grad, where he spent 4 years, finance degree, graduated in 2001. He was a student assistant with Coach Martelli for 4 years, and that's a bonus. Like, his resume is unbelievable. 2001 to 2003, spent some time at Louisville with Coach Patino as the graduate assistant. Then 03-06, he goes to Murray State as an assistant coach with Mick Cronin, who was on that staff at Louisville. So, Coach Grady had a chance to go with him to Murray State. And then 06-07, he goes to Cincinnati with Coach Cronin and as a director of basketball ops. And then from there, he goes to New Mexico State for the 07-08 season. With Coach Marvin Mendez. He goes as an assistant, who actually was another guy that worked for Coach Patino. So this is a family thing. And then from 2008 to 2009, he goes back to work with Coach Patino, where he started, in the coaching business per se. He goes back as a special assistant for Coach Patino, and then 2009, 2010, he goes to Morehead State with Donnie Tyndall as an assistant coach. 2010, 2011, this is where I actually got to know Matt a little bit before that, because we were the days of the hoop group camp and things like that. So, but then he became an elite director, and he spent, he was probably the smartest one out of the group. He stayed from September to April before going to work with Coach Masiello in Manhattan, where he was the associate head coach, where he's presently at, going into year 10. And they've done an outstanding job there. And I want to bring to the show a guy that I've been knowing for a while. And I've watched his work. Like I said, he does an outstanding job. And I'm so happy. And I think he's a guy that's definitely going to be a head coach in his business. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks for having me, Lamar. I really appreciate it, man. Look forward to connecting today. It's going to be a lot of fun, and look forward to it. Let's get rolling.
All right, man. I say that. I like when guys say that to, what we say, this is what we're here for. We're going to get right to getting unmasked. But no, I appreciate you coming on. First question, Matt, I love to ask. So you're at St. Joe's, you've seen it a little bit. Then you go thrown, even though you're a graduate assistant by title with Coach Patino, you're thrown into the fire doing everything. That's what people don't realize. Mm-hmm. Most graduate assistants don't get to do like a lot of the stuff you guys do. And that's the one thing I respect about Coach P, because he's teaching you, like about the business. Like, this is what it's about. Just because you have that title, you got to fit a title in somewhere. But there's no handbook to being a college coach. Like, tell me about your first day, first week, first month after things are done with human resources or orientation, especially when no one gives you direction. Now, it could be when you started at Louisville, or now you're thrown into the fire with Coach Cronin at Murray State. Talk about that.
Yeah, I was really fortunate. I graduated from St. Joe's, and a week later I was down there at Louisville, and that staff, Coach Patino's first staff, was unbelievable. Kevin Willard was on the staff, Mick Cronin, Vince Taylor, who's an assistant at Central Florida, played at Duke, and Scott Davenport was the ops guy, who's the head coach at Bellarmine. So it was like, I got I thought I knew about basketball, had a little bit of idea. I realized I knew nothing about 20 minutes into the job. but it was really cool for me because every day I was directly reporting to Coach Cronin and Coach Willard. And we hung out. I mean, we were together 20 hours a day in the office, going to grab a slice of pizza, going to grab coffee, getting a workout in. And I was just learning under those guys. Besides, on everything that we learned being with Coach Pitino. And it was a graduate school in coaching, is what I say. People say, "Oh, you taking grad classes?" Yeah, it's called Coach Pitino 101, and I'm still have great relationships with Coach Willard, all those guys, Coach Cronin, and then like Coach Cronin gave me my first job as a recruiting and coaching on the floor, but it was awesome, and I did basically spend 18 to 20 hours a day in the video room, and you learn so much basketball. And I think, everyone when their first job should do that is go be a video guy. Cause you just learn so much about it, about the game and how to scout, how to prepare a team, what to look for, what tendencies, concepts teams do. Cause the coaches can only only give the players so much. But you still have to know it. Like, what are they going to run out of a timeout? You might not cover the play preparing, but you got to be prepared for what they're going to run. So your preparation, really learned how to prepare and scout. And Kevin and Coach Cronin, and then obviously when I went back, learning from Coach Masiello, as well with Coach Pitino and those guys. The staffs that I was part of and worked under guys were phenomenal there.
Yeah, I mean that's like a who's who. When you start throwing names out, it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about recruiting in this business. Like now you're throwing in recruiting. I mean, people don't realize like recruiting is the lifeline of college athletics. Like you have to get good players, you have to get good students, and you have to get good people. And what people don't realize, like when I say good student, it doesn't mean you got to be an A student. Sometimes you don't even have to be a high B student. Like just someone that cares about getting a degree, coming to college and things of that nature, that you don't have to hold their hand, walk them to class like that. I mean, you don't want that. That's just another headache. But talk about like your best and worst recruiting stories you may have had over the year, because there's a lot that go into recruiting, dealing with, this, handling that. Like, it don't even matter what level it is anymore. Like, it seems like everyone got a guy, and things of that nature. But talk about your best and worst recruiting stories you may have had over the years.
Yeah. I think they're more general than actually specific stories, just because there's so many of them, which I'm sure you could relate to. I think obviously, as it's such a relationship thing, but I think you have to make sure no matter what, you have to touch everybody. And you never know sometimes where you think you have everybody touched and you think you have it going, and then at the last second, somebody comes in out of nowhere that maybe you didn't build a relationship enough with or whatever. And the kid says, "Oh yeah, this is the person that's going to help me make the decision." And you're like, whoa. where was this for the last 6, 8, which happens, you get it. And I think, the one thing you got to do is you can't take it personal and, wish them best of luck and keep it moving, because it's not personal. It just, it is, and I think kind of what you were talking about with students, I think you got to get the right people and the right fit. Character's huge, obviously, like, and then the best was just when you get that, there's somebody you really, really want, and you work and work and work and work and work, and it all comes, and they commit to you and they sign. And there's nothing like that feeling when you put in all that work, time, effort, blood, sweat, and tears, and you get that, kid that you really wanted, or that fit. And you're like, man, this is going to really change things. Because then when you get that one snowballs into getting more of those, your type of guys.
Yeah, so true, man. That's great knowledge. I hope people understand that when you listen to these young guys, when the coach, he talked about relationships, and because that's what's important in this business. That's the number one thing when I tell guys that, like, relationships are huge in this business, and they go a long way, especially this recruiting thing. It goes a long way. We all know this. It's this, you know, it's everyone's passion. When they're in coaching, it's their passion. They love to do it. You know, you like work 355, 360 days out the year. Even when you're on vacation, you're not on vacation. Like, you know, your phone is always close by. So it's so much stuff that go on because you know, you weren't worried about getting that kid on the campus when you get, you know, in August when you're supposed to be on vacation or things of that nature. Talk about what did you have to sacrifice achieving your current level of success?
True. That's a good one. A lot of family time. I think, you know, going back to that, when I took that job at Louisville at 22 years old, not really knowing anything about anything. I thought I did, graduating college. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, when you're young, you think and I go down there, work at Louisville, and my first week, I'm like, oh my God, I'm 12 hours away from home. I don't know what I'm doing. Can I really do this? You know? I think sacrifice wise, you know, and then like, you know, really like Coach Cronin and Coach Willard kind of took me under their wing, and it was those 2 years there were so much fun for me. You know, just learned so much and had so much fun and learned so much about the business. But sacrifice, I didn't see my family for a holiday, a birthday, missed multiple weddings, was in, I would say 3 to 4 weddings in, from college roommates to high school best friends. I was in the wedding and couldn't go. Like my one buddy, I'll never forget, he got married on my first year at Murray State. We go to the NCAA tournament, 28-5, have a great year. And he's getting married on that Friday of the NCAA tournament. We're playing Illinois. I'm like, bro, you could put the game on. We're playing Illinois. They had D Brown, Deron Williams, like they were unbelievable. And but yeah, I didn't see my family for any holidays, birthdays, any of that for like 10 years. Actually, till I was 32 when I moved home, moved back to work for the Hoop Group. I actually saw them for a birthday, a holiday. Got to spend my birthday with them. Got married late in life. Didn't get married till I was 35. And that was kind of on purpose. I wanted to really focus on my career. So I think those are some things, you know, your family sacrifices, because like you said, you're always working, because it's your passion. It's what you love to do. And even still, like, you know, you're calling your friends, even when you're on vacation, you're calling your friends while you're having a cup of coffee, or, you know, buddies in this business. Hey man, what's going on with you? You see anybody, or, you know, you're talking recruiting or X's and O's, or, you know, see any, you know, so you're always talking about it, which is an awesome bond you have with people in the business.
No, it definitely is, man. You're so right. I mean, you're 100% right. Scouting. This was, I mean, and I said it early in the show, like, this is your expertise, and it's probably not going to be any. And I usually ask what was your best or worst scouting report, but like, talk about you, like, what your insight with your psyche when you're going into scouting. Because I mean, people don't realize, like, you know, some people watch 6, 7, 8 game film. You know, some people want to get every call, don't want to get a call. Talk about what you like to do, what you see, because I mean, I'm serious about it. I think you are probably one of the best in the country, and like you are so thorough at it, and you're really good at it. Talk about what you like to do, just what you do.
Well, first off, I just want to thank you for saying that, man. I really appreciate that. And humbly speaking, I know there's a lot of people out there that are terrific at it. And I think first and foremost, I had awesome teachers. From everybody I work for, I took something from and really kind of taught me. And like I said, when I first started at Louisville, that was kind of all I did, was sit in the video room and watch film, cut film, clip film, watch. So I was fortunate to do that when I first started out. And, you know, I think kind of how I go into it, I approach every game the same, whether we're playing Louisville, North Carolina, you know, in the NCAA tournament, or it's our opening game, or, you know, whatever it might be. I kind of have the same, you know, mentality going into it. And I try to, watch as many games as I can, at least, 8 to 10 games to really, really get a feel for the team. And then I really try to watch the edits after I trim the film and watch the edits. I really try to watch their man offense, their zone offense. I'll watch that over and over and over again so I could kind of lock in on certain tendencies, certain concepts. Like every time this team runs a back screen, they always like to go into a pick and roll. So I could kind of and when we go 4-man shell in practice or 5-man shell in practice, hey, coach, we got to work on back screen pick and rolls. Every time this team sets a back screen, they do that. Or every time they have a strong side quarter loaded and they come off a pick and roll, they're going to wildcat cut the guy, backdoor him as we come off. So we can't use him as our zone out guy because, and just try to get those concepts to make it the easiest and most simple for the guys. Try to simplify things, but also heard a great quote that Jeff Van Gundy said on a podcast is you got to be simple, but also be hard to play against, which is kind of, so I think, I try to keep it all simple. Like, hey, we're going to play all their pick and rolls this way. We're going to play all their post ups this way. Here's 4 to 6 actions we can run to hurt them, and then try to get special situations down. So we have our schemes. And in our style of play, talking is so huge because we mix and change defenses and we're pressing back to half court, man or zone, or, when we're mixing and changing. So we got to really make sure the guys are talking and echoing the call. So we're huge on responding. So, if somebody yells out, a 2-side is coming and the bench is yelling side pick and roll, lift or whatever, side or middle pick and roll lift, whatever action is, all the guys are echoing it and they respond to each other so they know. Or when a guy says I'm switching, the other guy responds to that. But I think that's kind of how I try to focus in on it, get their main 3 to 5 actions. They run against zone, man, underneath, out of bounds, get their press offenses, and make sure I know, the staff, we all know everything else after timeouts, some favorites they might have or some others, but keep it simple on that so the guys are familiar with it and they can go play. I think that's huge, is less thinking and go play.
That's awesome. I say that all the time. Like, they have enough things on their plate. Mm-hmm. So you can't, like, when you overload them, because we expect as coaches, and like you watch, minimum 8 to 10, they're not going to watch minimum 8 to 10. You're going to simplify it for them. So like they need, and they have to, they got schoolwork, they got, so much stuff going on. And the easier it is for them, the better, they can respond to what's going on. So I definitely love that approach that you do.
Thank you.
What's the biggest challenge you think you've experienced since you've been in college coaching?
I think every year is different. I don't think you can coach how we used to coach. I think you really got to explain the why. It is really important now. I don't think you can just go in and say, hey, we're gonna play side pick and roll this way, or we're gonna do this and this today this way. I think you got to give them give the young men, the student athletes, give them the why of, hey, we're gonna play the pick and roll this way because of this. We don't want to get hurt this, or hey guys, we're gonna do this today because of this. And it's kind of evolved. We do a lot of stuff where we kind of have, I want to say forums or discussions with our guys on different topics of everything. And I think giving them the why is really important with coaching today of that and getting the why. So with that being said, like, you really, really got to know your stuff and have it down cold for when you go out, because you're going to have to, besides putting in what the drill or the play or what our topic for the week is in the team meeting, you got to know that and then explain the why. So you really got to study your craft and know it cold so you can explain it and it basically well enough to teach it down pat. I think that's important.
It definitely is important. I mean, I'm listening to you because you know what I think helped me in this business was I worked at Brown University, and I saw then how kids analyze every situation.
Mm-hmm.
So that helped me, because now you're saying exactly what the kids 10 years ago when I was working in the Ivy League, 12 years ago when I was working in the Ivy League and in the Patriot League, those kids were so far like, why are we doing this? Why like it was always that.
Yeah.
Now everyone else is starting to say, you know, they look and be like, well, why are we playing it like this? And it's not like, you know, when you were older, you're older, so you'll understand whatever coach used to tell you to do, you did. It was no question. You can't do that anymore.
No.
These kids want to know, well, why are we playing it that way? Why aren't we playing this way? And I say it all the time. Coach used to be like, run through that wall. You was running through the wall. Kids now are saying, but coach, why do I have to run through the wall? I can't climb over top, or I can't go around. That's how they think.
No doubt.
That's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so you gotta have an answer why you're doing it, because if not, they're gonna be looking at you like you're crazy. You are 100% right on that. And it took me. I didn't say that I learned that earlier before later, because I'm sitting there. I started seeing it later on. Like I was at Hofstra, and kids be like, "Well, why are we doing?" And I was like, and I wanted to say so bad because we said so, but you can't exactly do that.
No, you can't. And I think it's really helped me. Coach Masiello is awesome about that, about giving them the why, and I've really learned a lot from him with that. And I think it really helped in becoming better and growing and improving at your craft. Because you got to know every scenario, every you got to really know your stuff.
No, you're so right. Well, I'm gonna ask you this: do you ever find that there are things? So, like I watch TV. People don't even know. Like for years in this business, guys walk in the gym, you see them. You know, like some guys don't talk, some guys do. Some guys just come in and they like locked in on what they do. I mean, it could be anything else, but do you ever find that there are things about you that people might misunderstand? Like, what are they, if it is something?
Yeah, I think, sometimes, I when I go recruiting, or when I go into a gym, for instance, to kind of use your example, I kind of go in there and, I'll say hi to people, but, I kind of go in and, say hi to the coach of the program, talk to, but I'll kind of go in and kind of lock in on that. So I know there's other people that do that, maybe that people say like, why didn't he come? Cause I know there's people come in and say hello to everybody. And sometimes some people don't, some people do. Not, neither way is right, wrong, or indifferent. It's, but yeah, people may think that, I don't know, that I'm not being cordial to them or something, I guess. But it's not that. It's, I'm just kind of locked in on my job and what I'm trying to do, or, that's kind of how I was taught, No,
and like you said, I agree with what you said. There's nothing wrong with it. You can be your own person and still do the same job as everyone else. So I respect. I just wanted to ask, because like I ask everyone that question because it's just interesting how guys get viewed in this business and they have no idea. Like you don't even know the person, but they're like, man, he standoffish. He don't talk to anybody. Oh, he comes to the gym, he talks so much, not realizing you're always getting information from someone else like that you might not even have. So like it's different ways to do it. And that's why I laugh at guys, because I'm like, you can do it your own way. It's
mm-hmm. I need,
go ahead.
Nothing really either. I mean, I'm good with whatever you do. That's how you do it. And if we talk, don't talk, like, people are there to do their job. Some people do it better this way. Some people do it better that way. Everyone, as long as you, like you said, to know yourself.
Correct. Look, we're all educators in this business, man. Like we tell the kids, when you come to practice 2.5, 3 hours, or whatever it is, you're locked in. This is the basketball court is like a classroom, right? So we're always educating them on the court. I'm asking you, what do you try to teach or educate your players besides basketball?
Yeah, I think, obviously with COVID, it's gotten slowed down. But, we try to do stuff, as far as going to grab a slice of pizza with guys and not talking about basketball. Hey man, what's going on with your family? What's going on with life? That type of stuff. I think that's really important to do. Even and started doing this a couple years ago, and this is a basketball related, but like watching film with guys, from practice or 8 to 10 clips from the game, of doing it over a burger or a slice of pizza or outside of the office. I think that's important to do that type of stuff and just talk to guys about what's going on in their life, or what's going on in the world, and get their view on it. Let them talk, and we're there just to listen and let them bounce things off of you. And that's I think that's how the relationships build and grow and improve. And then you can coach them, on the court from that. But I think that those things, and we do in the summer, we'll get a book and read a book with like each assistant coach will get 3 or 4 guys, and we'll just do the book on audio once a week and, get a couple chapters in. Like a couple years ago, we did Kevin Eastman's book. That was phenomenal. And we did David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, last year. Or 2 years ago. So, I think those things are good. Just kind of how to be successful and how different people do it. Kevin Eastman's was a lot of different athletes, so to speak, or, he had references from the Celtics, and then David Goggins is a Navy SEAL. So we do a lot of Navy SEAL references for our guys, because we have so much respect for them, and what they do and how tough they are.
Great stuff right there, man. What are your best and worst memories in coaching?
Oh, best is easy as, I think seeing guys graduate, they come in as freshmen, and when you see them leave as a 22-year-old young man getting ready to go into the world, you hope you prepare them for what they're getting ready to go into. That's that non-basketball. That's always love seeing those guys going to graduation, seeing them, giving them a hug. Those are proud moments for guys. Or when they call you and say, Coach, I got engaged, or I'm getting married, or, this, that, and the third. On a basketball side is, going to the NCAA tournament. When I was young, 24 years old, 22, 23 years old, that was really cool for the first time. And then going to back-to-backs here at Manhattan, winning the Big East tournament at Louisville, just to name a few. Murray State having, going to 2 tournaments in 3 years. Being with Coach Cronin, building that program when, even though I was only there that year, of just, getting that program back on the ground, up and running for that 1 year, to obviously where he built it. Those are some really off the top of my head memories, that I had. Worst memory might be probably my second year at Manhattan, when we went on a run at the end of the year and we lost by 3 to Iona in the MAC tournament final. That one hurt a lot, because we were right there to do it, and it would have been an unbelievable win. But I think with that being said, that turned it around for us to win it the next year, because we had everybody back, and that gave us motivation going into that summer and doing that.
Good stuff, man. I like the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
And like you said, it built you guys, you learn from it, and then you go and win from that. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you this: what's the most stressful situation you faced?
Most stressful situation. Probably trying to scout Louisville for the NCAA tournament when we got announced when I was at Manhattan. That one was tough. That was really stressful. Fortunately, I haven't had many stressful situations outside of basketball, knock on wood, fortunately. But that was a stressful one, but it was a fun one. So I can't really name I think, I get stressed getting ready for every opponent. So, scouting them, I guess that could be what it is.
I feel you. I feel you. And that actually was a good game. The Manhattan Louisville tournament game. That was actually a really good game.
Yeah.
Coach P might have got a little nervous over there. I'm sure about that one. And I asked this, it's because this is kind of more entertaining than anything.
Yeah.
What is the strangest thing a player has done outside of the basketball court that you've seen, like, since you've been coaching? Because it's like some people like, man, we won a championship game. Kid went in the woods for like 15 hours. We couldn't find. Like, guys come up with some of the most ridiculous stories, but you don't have to say names. But like anything that was just strange, you're like, wow, I can't believe that kid really did that.
Man. I wish I was a better guest. I'm not very entertaining. I'm pretty simple. Damn. I don't really have any like weird stories like that. With a player like doing something after a win. We've had great kids, to be honest with you. Like nothing like where like a kid, I never had that situation where like we won and then the next day we're going to the selection show and we can't find somebody. I never had that.
That's a great thing. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Like I'm telling you, I've heard stories from, they told a kid, make sure he comes to practice, he's there on time, and he walks in with a bathrobe on because he didn't want to be late. Like what? So it's been different things like that. Like it's just been crazy. So I was just wondering, like, I mean, hey, it's nothing there. I love it.
You know what? I think maybe and I wouldn't call this strange. I've actually like a couple places I've been, like, you have your 6 a.m. running or, stuff conditioning in the morning is you go in the locker room and there's guys sleeping on the couch at 5:30. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, Coach, I don't want to oversleep. So I knew somebody would wake me up. I've had that happen to me a lot, or they have 6 a.m. workouts and and there's guys sleeping in the locker room with their practice gear on, with their sneakers at 5:15. And you're like, are you all right? Yeah, Coach, I just don't want to be late. Is the trainer here so I can go get taped? I'm ready to go. I guess that's actually
smart. That's being smart right there. I understand.
I guess that was I've had that happen a couple times, which I actually like that. So
awesome. Like, now I'm gonna ask you this because you've worked with some tremendous people. So you kind of got to rule these guys out. But if you had a chance to sit down, and I'm gonna say it's kind of hard, 3 or 4 guys, I mean, it could be living or dead, and like just pick their brain of like what made them tick as a coach. Like you've been around some really good, so you kind of know what it takes, or from hearing from them. But is it 3 or 4 guys you might say, man, I just want to sit down and talk with them and like what made them who they are?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first and foremost, I got to give a lot of credit to all the people that have hired me and given me opportunities, because I would not be in the position I am today without them. They've taught me so much and have always been loyal and awesome to me. So that much I appreciate. I think a couple guys that come to mind, Lamar, Brad Stevens. I have a great respect for him. I've actually got opportunity to spend time at their training camp a couple times, and he was awesome, phenomenal teacher, got a great demeanor. Obviously his X's and O's speak for himself. But he was a great person too. So he's a guy I would love to sit down, pick his brain, get a chance to have a coffee with. Billy Donovan is another guy, really big fan of his, college, NBA, has always had great success. I think those guys are two terrific guys that come to my mind right away. Tony Bennett is probably another guy. just because, how he turned them around from that to this one. Chris Beard. Yeah, I love everything he does at Texas Tech. And then Buzz Williams is probably another guy I like to sit down. He's obviously had great turnarounds, great success. Marquette, Virginia Tech, Texas A&M, he's got him up and running. I heard Chris Beard and Buzz Williams speak this summer at the Texas High School Clinic, and they were phenomenal. So those are just a couple guys that come to my mind right off the top of my head.
You threw some heavy hitters out there, though. Those are some really good guys, though. I mean, wow. I'm just thinking about that. Those are some heavy hitters.
Hey, can I?
Matt, what's your favorite word or phrase that you like to use? Like, you coach, whether it's in practice, it's anything. Like, what's your favorite word or phrase you like to use?
Oh, man, that's a hard one. I guess I honestly don't know what that is. Probably have to ask the players. I don't know. I would say I probably tell guys to get their hands busy a lot because we're such a big deflection team. So I would say that get your hands busy, have vision of the basketball. I'd probably say that a lot. See the ball, sprint to your zone out. I say that a lot. Sprint to your zone out. I do say that a lot. Those are probably a couple that I say off the top of my head. And Lamar, I actually thought about somebody else right when you were asking me that question that I'd like to add to that list. That is a phenomenal coach. And Coach Martelli raved about how great he is. Juwan Howard's another guy I'd love to pick his brain and sit down. I've watched his team play a lot, and Coach Martelli raves about him. I love to pick his brain. There's another guy I love to pick his brain if I could add that to the list.
Awesome. Now he is. The turnaround, people don't realize, like, and he had a great staff. He has great staff, but he's always had a basketball mind. Like whether he was, playing college to playing in the NBA, and then you hire a great staff. So I'm sure that would be a guy I would love to hear as well. Mm-hmm. And I asked this, like, what's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
I would say probably, basically, stay humble and remember everyone on your way up because you'll probably see him back on your way down. Along those lines, something my father told me. That is advice from my dad. And, be appreciative and have gratitude. I think is another one, and that's from my father. But I think those two things, are really important, especially in this business. Is don't forget people or don't blow them off. Keep those relationships. It's important to do. But I would say those are a couple things. Piece of advice.
Awesome, man. What does success mean to you?
I think success to me is when the players finish playing for us and they get done playing in 10, 15, 20 years, they understand why they were pushed so hard. They may not get it now, which is okay. And understand that, I'm pushing you and trying to teach you to get you be prepared for life and be responsible and accountable, because if we let you be late now, when you go for your tryout for a pro team and you're late, they cut you. It's not a early morning study hall or a morning punishment run. So we're trying to get you prepared for that. So I think that they get that of why we're pushing them in every aspect to be great. I think that if I think that's success. And then I'd be fooling myself if I didn't say that I want to win a lot.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. like, and I say it all the time, you're a selfless guy, you're not a self-promoter. So I'm gonna give you a chance to figure out what it is today. If you had to choose 3 adjectives to describe yourself, which would you choose?
Oh, you just stumped me on that one. I would say passionate, high energy, and detailed.
Awesome. Awesome 3 answers, man. And I'm gonna ask this because I kind of like, I'm listening to you, how you are. So like, what qualities do you value in the people with whom you spend time?
Mm-hmm. High energy is definitely something I value in people I spend time with, because I don't think you can be low energy and be great, be elite. I like people to be detailed, but I think there's different ways that people could be detailed. Somebody may be really, really detailed, but they don't write everything down. They keep everything right here and they know it. I'm a guy that I have to write everything down. I got to put pen to paper. I got to write it down or type it in my phone so I see it. So I like people that are detailed. I like people that are organized. Definitely like people that are passionate. And it doesn't have to be passionate about basketball. They could be passionate about being an engineer, being a professional golfer, being an accountant, whatever their craft is, they can be passionate about that. But I enjoy that. And I think those are a couple things that I really value in people that I relate to and hang out with.
Those are really good things, though. I mean, similar to, how you describe yourself as, hey, I would like to hang out with someone that's similar to me, not just like me, but similar, which is, hey, nothing wrong with it. I would want to be the same way, trust
me. Yeah, definitely.
What person and or event, now I kind of heard you earlier mention you kind of a couple of quotes you got from your dad, so I don't know if that's going to be the answer, but what person and or event has had the most influence on your life?
I would say person that's had the most influence. This is gonna be a little bit of a 2-part answer. Is definitely my dad. He's my best friend. He was my best man in my wedding. And I know that's who I want to be like. From a standpoint of how he treats people, how he conducts himself daily as a husband, father, as a man. That's who I want to be. I think event that has helped shape me, I would probably have to say getting married, and having kids. I know it's hard to believe, and Rasheen breaks my chops all the time about that. I've calmed down since I had kids. I think I have.
They definitely will calm you down. Trust me, they definitely will.
No doubt.
Well, look, man, like, and then you started this business at 22. You're one of the, most guys don't. Some guys do, some guys don't. But like, knowing what you know now, what would you tell your young self or younger self to prepare for as an assistant coach?
I would say I would probably do a better job of reaching out to people. When I say reaching out to people, of trying to cultivate and build relationships more with people when I was younger. I think I kind of just thought you had to go in and watch film. And I think that, try to, I think I realized it a little bit later that, how I knew that peace was important. But I think that that's something that I would probably be more balanced is probably the way to put it. Make sure, don't just be great at at this one thing. be really, be great at that, but also be great at paperwork, be great at recruiting, be great at, compliance, any paperwork you got to do, administrative stuff. Be great at post defense, be great at how you're going to attack the other team, be great at all those things, and be great at everything, and be really balanced in that. And don't just kind of pigeonhole yourself. It would be my advice to probably my younger self, is really delve into every single thing that goes into it when you first start out.
Great stuff, man. I'm glad, it's always good that you can look back and say, okay, what have I done differently, or what did I learn on the way? And so obviously you saw some things that you said, hey, this is what I would have done different. Hey, where you've gotten to, that's a great path. So, and the still, like I said, it's going to be more things down the road for you that I believe. But look, man, Matt, I want to thank you again for being a guest on the show and being unmasked. Is it anything you want to leave with the people today before we go?
Yeah, I want to say that I had an awesome time being on here. Hope everybody enjoys the content. Lamar and I have known each other for a long time, and I really appreciate you having me on here. I'm very thankful and appreciative of being on. I had a lot of fun getting a chance here to connect and talk and chop it up a little bit. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I hope the viewers enjoy it, and look forward to watching some more of Unmasked.
Well, you're welcome, man. And like I said, thanks again. I'm looking forward to seeing the finish of the season and also, seeing what the future holds for you, which I believe myself that you're going to be, head coach one day. And I'm sure Mash believes the same thing. Trust me. Make sure you tell him I said hello.
I will.
So I want to thank you viewers for watching another great show. Stay tuned for the next guest as we get them unmasked. See you next time and stay safe.